Okay, right. So yeah, so till the time other people are joining in, we can continue with this introduction side. So yes, okay. So thank you so much, Lokesh and Ayushi, for sharing your experience. So I see some more people. So okay, so Ravi Teja is there. Hi, Ravi Teja, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi.
Yes, yes, Ravi Teja. Please tell me just a little bit about your experience. What are you looking out for?
Okay.
Yes.
Myself, Raviteja. I have
Hmm.
been working since in IT for 8 years almost. So mostly I
Okay.
worked on the uh, API automation in the backend side using
Okay.
REST HTTP client
Ha
and
ha ha ha.
yeah, Paras Observers and Ready API. Different tools I have worked for, but UI automation I haven't learned. I just want
Okay.
to cover this aspect. That
Okay. So this is your first time exploring the UI automation side. This is what I'm understanding from you, right?
correct.
Oh, that's great. Okay, okay. Right. So even in fact, like I think a lot of you actually filled out the poll, right? And I could see from the poll experience that a lot of you are quite, new to automation. Some of you are kind of trying to switch, like some of you are trying to upskill yourself. So I could see that majorly of you have not worked with Playwright, and that is actually good. Okay, right? So okay, so looks like the recording has started. So what we'll do is like we'll wait for another 2 minutes and then we can get started. Okay, so okay, I'm just randomly picking out people. So in case if you are wondering how come I'm picking out people, it's just random actually. I'm just looking at the participant list, right? So and I'm just randomly picking out some people. Okay, I see some more people. So I see Srinivas. So okay, let me move on from the left side. Yeah, so Srinivas, if you are there, can you hear me?
Hey Piyush, I'm here.
Yes. Hi, Srinivas. So if you can please introduce yourself and just let us know. So what are your expectations from this course? Anything specific you are looking out for? Yeah.
Uh, Good evening, everyone. I'm Srinivas. My expectation from this course would be I just want to learn automation. I know
Okay.
Selenium is open source, even Playwright, some parts of it is open source, but I would like to try something with TypeScript. So
Oh, okay.
I don't have any experience in automation at all, zero knowledge on automation. I just have some experience on manual testing. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
uh, so I'm not currently working, so I just wanted to see how Playwright, I mean, will I be able to learn or not, and then proceed further.
I'm going to make sure, Srinivas, that you will not be able to say the same thing again. That I will whether I will be able to learn it or not. I'll make sure that. Okay.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
right. Okay. See, that is a confidence that I want to instill in everyone's actually. Firstly, you will not see me, you will not look at me looking like a boring trainer who's going to bore you till death by giving you some boring kind of theory. No, I don't believe in all that nonsense. Right. So what I'll do is like I believe learning should be with fun so that you guys should not only engage, right? Not only you should have fun, but at the same time we should have good amount of learning as well. And that is the core theme behind my courses. And that is why people love my courses. Why? Because I try to keep it very, very simple and I don't judge you at all. Because, like Srinivas was saying, he's not working. I have been in this situation. I know it is not easy, guys. Okay. So, what I'll do is like I'll start with a quick introduction from my side. So, hi everyone. My name is Piyush Gupta. Okay. So, I'm originally from Punjab. Right. So, I have close to 19 plus years of experience. Sometimes I say 19, sometimes I say 20, sometimes it's 19.5, doesn't matter. Right. So, I started as a manual tester, right? But I was very fascinated towards coding, but I was a very bad coder. I still remember when I was in college, I could not really understand how the for loop actually works, right? So I guess you have hope. Okay, and now I'm actually as a trainer. So see, it is just a journey, guys. Okay, yes, it takes time, it takes some practice. But I just want to tell you that when I got started back then, there was no YouTube videos, there was no Udemy, nothing was there. It was very hard journey. Whatever I wanted to learn, I had to learn it the hard way. Okay. And nobody was ready to teach. Like if you want to ask your manager, I really want to grow, he's definitely not going to help you. Unfortunately, that's the case. Okay. So I've learned the hard way. So that is what, and I've realized that teaching is my passion. And what I really want to do is I want to basically share all my knowledge in all these years so that you guys don't have to struggle the way I did actually. Okay, so I like to keep myself very much approachable. I will never judge you for whatever questions you may ask. Never think that any question is silly. Why? If something is not clear to you, that question is not silly, firstly. Why? Something is not clear, it's not clear. As simple as that, period. Right? So we are not here to judge. So you can feel free to ask me. My number is there on the WhatsApp groups. There are a couple of WhatsApp groups that are there. If you still have some doubts, even after this training, feel free to reach out to me. Okay, so this is a little bit about my introduction. Okay, so what have we planned? We have planned basically something quite exciting. So what we'll do is we'll talk about the Playwright with JavaScript and TypeScript course. So in case some of you are wondering whether this Playwright course is actually with JavaScript or TypeScript, let me tell you, it is actually both. Why? Because nowadays in every company, they are asking for JavaScript and TypeScript. Some of you may not be aware, but that is okay. So in order to really learn TypeScript, you want to start with JavaScript because JavaScript is the basic or the foundation of TypeScript. You cannot really learn TypeScript without understanding JavaScript. That's the first thing that you should understand. Okay, so firstly, we'll start with JavaScript, then we'll eventually slowly move towards TypeScript. And trust me, guys, coding is not difficult. I know some of you might think that coding is difficult, but trust me, it is not. Okay. If you'll practice, right? If you'll study hard, right? I'll make sure that you will find this course very exciting, very much enjoyable. It's going to be an amazing experience. Okay. Right. So okay, let us get started. So what I'll do is I'll share my screen, guys. Okay, some of you are posting in chat as well. Okay, so Rasul is actually introducing himself. Hi, Rasul. Okay, so he's saying I'm having 5 years of experience in manual and automation testing, and I'm unable to speak currently. I'm in journey. Thank you for understanding. That is okay, guys. I'm totally fine with it. Okay, so Vijay is also saying I want to learn Playwright and get some freelance jobs. Help support friends, people. Do I need to learn Selenium, Jmeter, Cucumber, TestNG? Please suggest. See, this is the problem, guys. What the problem is, unfortunately, we are kind of lacking mentorship. Okay, that is what I try to bridge the gaps. Some of you are kind of confused. Some of you, let's say, some of you are maybe freshers. Some of you are maybe having no automation background. And now, in case if you are still wondering, should I start with Selenium? Should I start with Cypress? Or maybe should I start with Playwright? Okay, so a lot of people come to me asking for mentorship. Okay, so you know what I tell them? I tell them it depends. Okay, because no one size fits all. Very important thing you should understand. Okay, why am I actually giving this answer? Because I'll be very open and honest. So whenever somebody comes to me asking for advice, should I start with Selenium or should I start with Playwright? I tell them it depends. So why do I say this? Because I'll tell you. Because it depends on that person. If the person is having, let's say, if he's very much crazy about coding, if he's very good with coding, then I tell him, okay, you can start with Java and Selenium, not an issue. But if that person is like me, little afraid of coding, in fact, quite bad at coding, okay, then I tell him, okay, start with JavaScript or maybe TypeScript and Playwright. Why? These tools are relatively very easy to understand if you are a beginner in automation testing. Like some of you just mentioned, right? Like Srinivas was mentioning, he's kind of beginner. He has no automation background. I would suggest in this case, if you really want to start coding, better option is start with JavaScript and Playwright. Why? They are very beginner friendly tools. Okay. And you will have a very good time. Okay. So I've designed this course in such a way that even if you have no coding experience, right? Trust me, no coding experience, you know nothing about coding, right? We are still going to do it together. Why? That is how I've designed this course. Okay. And I see some of you also on video as well. So good to see you, some of you. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll now share my screen with you guys. Okay, and then we'll talk about the course, what exactly I have planned. Okay, so just a sec, guys, I'll share my screen. So, and yeah, so before we start, just one request, guys. So I would recommend please stay muted. Okay, and if you have any questions, anything you like to ask me, I'll give you some time. Or what you can do is if you have any queries, feel free to post a message in the chat section. Okay, or you can even raise your hands. So that, why am I telling you this? So that when I'm in the flow, it is quite important that everybody should be able to understand. So definitely whatever questions you may have, even after this demo class gets over, you can post me on WhatsApp. You can even post on the group as well. Okay, so with this, I'll share my screen. So just a sec. Okay, so is my this is what we are planning actually. This is the course content. So I hope you're able to see my screen. Please tell me, guys, if you're able to see my screen.
Yep.
Anyone?
Yeah, it's visible.
Perfect. Okay. So before I even start with the course content, because this is something you should know. Okay, let me show you something which is quite exciting, and this is something I share with all my students. Why? Okay, because this is a website NPM Trends. Some of you might be aware, some of you might not be aware. So what is this NPM Trends website? Okay, so here we can actually compare the downloads of one tool against another. Like in case if you're still wondering, should I start with maybe Selenium or Cypress or Playwright? This tool is going to give you a good answer. Okay, so let us start with Selenium WebDriver. So this is a pretty common tool, right? Everybody is aware of Selenium at least. Even though you have not worked on it, still you must have heard about Selenium. Then we have something called a Cypress, which is also a pretty trending tool at the moment. Okay, so we are now just comparing the downloads of Selenium with Cypress. Okay, this is something you can even do it yourself. It's a pretty exciting tool. Okay, so now I'm going to compare it with Playwright. Let us see now. Okay, so if you see for the last 1 year downloads, if I just bring my mouse randomly,
few minutes or something.
okay, so just a sec, guys. So I would request everyone to please stay muted. So, okay, let me mute some of you. Okay, all right. Okay, so if you see here, if I just randomly pick any location, so if you see, so as of June 15, 2025, Orange is Cyprus. So Cyprus has how many downloads? Almost 69 lakh downloads. Okay, which is good, pretty good. Now, if we compare it with Selenium, how many downloads Selenium has? Almost 1,85,000 something, which is also pretty nice. Okay, sorry, 18 lakhs actually. Okay, now compare it with Playwright, the green one. Okay, it is how many? It is 25 lakhs? No, it is 2.5 crores actually, which is pretty huge number. Okay, so this is about 1 year. Let me show you something interesting. If I select 5 years actually, now if you see, when Playwright was actually launched in 2020, okay, so initial days, if you see, green line is nowhere actually. Nobody even till 2023, people were not even aware of Playwright actually. But after 23, you see this particular peak wherein Playwright actually started shooting up. And if you see, this is where the peak curve is. So if you are looking to learn Playwright, now is the right time. Why? We should not be like Nokia, resisting to change. We should be, you know, always thinking to change, always thinking to adapt. And that is what the core theme of this particular course is. Not only we'll be learning together. See, my job is not to teach you actually. My job is to basically study together, learn together. It is going to be an exciting journey. Okay. So here the theme, core theme about this particular tool is, okay, we are going to be learning AI together. We are going to be learning JavaScript, TypeScript, and Playwright together. And if you see, Playwright has huge number of downloads. So this tool has a huge amount of potential, guys. Okay, so this is something you want to really maybe take a screenshot. You can do it yourself. So this is a pretty exciting thing. Like some of you are still doing POCs in your office projects. You can even showcase this to your project and tell them that this is how, Playwright is actually dominating the market. The correct word is dominating the market. Okay, now with this, now what we'll do is we'll start with the course. So what exactly we are going to plan? So this is the course that I have designed actually. Okay, so now if you just scroll down over here, these are the previous recordings, previous demo recordings, okay, which is fine. And if I scroll down, okay, now what are we going to start with? In the initial days, we'll be having complete JavaScript basics. So here I'll be teaching everything as if you know nothing about coding. Okay, so we are going to start from scratch. If you have some automation background, it is good. But if you have no automation background, no coding background, no worries at all. We're going to be starting everything from scratch. Okay, so we'll be starting with JavaScript values, variables. There are a couple of things. We'll be talking about the primitive data types. Then we'll be talking about string manipulation. Don't worry about all these things. Some of you may not be able to understand at this moment, which is totally fine. So after every class, I'll be sharing a lot of assignments with you. Why? Just learning something. If you are just seeing me write the code, yes, you will enjoy it. That is fine. But that is not how you learn. The best way to learn something, guys, is when you're actually practicing together. Okay. And what I have seen is a lot of you have good intentions. You even plan out things, but somehow, you're not able to maintain your, you can say, habits consistently. We'll even talk about how to rewire the brain. Okay. Trust me, I'm not here to just, we are not just here to learn JavaScript, TypeScript, and Playwright. That is fine. We are going to learn that together. But we'll be also talking about how to basically utilize the time to the max. Why? Because ultimately, we'll be learning about something which are good habits together. Very, very important things. Okay, so we'll be starting with the JavaScript basics and we'll be actually doing a lot of assignments. Okay, and if you guys are getting stuck, we are going to do these assignments together as well. Then we'll be moving on to JavaScript intermediate part. Right now, some of you might ask me, how much time should it take? Doesn't matter, guys, because I don't teach you by the clock. Okay, if I'm planning something to cover, does it really matter whether we are able to cover it in say 55 minutes or maybe it is 1 hour 10 minutes? Doesn't really matter. Okay, this is not US, this is India. Here we like to cover by the topics. Now we don't look at the time exactly. Okay, so we'll be starting with JavaScript intermediate. We'll be talking about functions, reusable code, and all those things. So everything that is related from the playwright's point of view, I'll be teaching you that kind of JavaScript, because JavaScript is huge, guys. Okay, so my job is not to make you a JavaScript developer. That is not my intention. My intention is, from the automation point of view, we should be covering each and everything about JavaScript. Nothing should be remaining. Okay. So, and yeah, I keep on upgrading and improvising this course. Why? Because I'm also learning. I'm also getting better every single day with every experience. Okay. So I've recently introduced this map and set collections, which I was not introducing in my previous classes. Okay. And now this is the core theme. Very, very important thing. This part, logic building. I've seen that what happens in most interviews, people kind of struggle a lot in the most interviews. Why? Because in interviews, unfortunately in India, what really happens is, the interviewer doesn't really care how much you know about manual testing, how much you really know about automation testing. They just give you maybe 1 or 2 puzzles, maybe in JavaScript or maybe TypeScript. And if you're not able to solve, the interview is over. Unfortunately, that is how it is. Okay. So in this section, what we're going to do is we are going to be basically starting with the logic building part plus interview preparation. So here we'll be learning together. How do we basically, what is logic building? How do we basically enhance my coding skill? Because coding is skill is like a muscle. Okay, like I'm heavily into gymming and weightlifting. Yes, I love weight training actually. Okay, so if you don't see me at my home, you'll see me in the gym actually. Okay, I'm crazy about weightlifting. So what I really understand is, if you want to basically enhance your coding skill, it is like a muscle. The more you go to the gym, every single day you train, the better it is going to become. Same is for your coding skills. If you think you're coding for 2 hours today and then leave the coding for another 1 month or maybe a week, no, that is not the right way. That is what I'll tell you. So this is something we'll learn together, how to basically improve our consistency pattern so that we get into this habit of practicing every single day. And nobody is telling you to study for 2 hours every single day. Even if it is 10 minutes, even if it is 15 minutes, that is still good enough. And that is what we're going to learn together. Okay. So the most important thing is developing the right thought process. So guys, technical skills is very important, I believe. Okay. But your mindset, your thought process, your communication skills, your leadership skills is even more important. And if you look at your senior people who are actually succeeding, who are making a lot of money, it's not just with the, you can say, technical skills, because not only they have technical skills, they have some soft skills also. That is also very important. And that is also something we'll touch upon in this course. Okay. So finally, after covering this logic building, we'll be doing a lot of programs together. Okay. Now, in this case, we'll be talking about JavaScript advanced topics, wherein we'll be talking about creating classes, constructors, and inheritance. The biggest problem with classes, constructors, and inheritance is, when I was starting to learn Java in my initial days, so every YouTube video that I saw, the biggest problem was they all started with this is class, this is object, this is inheritance. But and at the end, I was able to understand the syntax. But at the end, I was scratching my head. Always I used to wonder, but why am I creating classes in the first place? What is the need of constructor? What is the need for inheritance? People are telling me what is class, what is constructor, what is inheritance. But nobody is actually guiding me when to use class, when to use constructor. Is it actually required or not? These are the concepts nobody is talking about. And that is exactly what we're going to be learning. Not only we'll be learning classes, constructors, inheritance, and everything in JavaScript. We'll be talking about what the problem is and how these things are actually coming as a solution to these problems. And that is the right way of learning, guys. Why am I telling you this? Because from my vast experience, I have seen that that is the best way of learning. Identify the problem and how we can solve as a solution actually. Okay. So this is about JavaScript Advanced, and then we'll be moving on to TypeScript. Why I'm actually teaching TypeScript at the end? Because in order to really learn TypeScript, the foundation is what? Foundation is JavaScript. You want to learn JavaScript first, then only you can actually move into TypeScript. Okay. And then we'll be also talking about the VS Code IDE. So VS Code is a very powerful editor. Okay. Like some of you might be aware that VS Code is actually a free tool, completely free. It is actually backed by Microsoft, developed by Microsoft. Okay, and it has fantastic capability, compatibility with JavaScript and TypeScript. If you talk about different editors, like if you see my screen, right, you see this Eclipse is there, IntelliJ is also there. So Eclipse and IntelliJ, they are also very powerful editors. Okay, but these editors don't have pretty good compatibility when it comes to JavaScript and TypeScript. Yes, I can still install and basically run JavaScript and TypeScript with these editors, but I need some third-party plugins. So there is no out-of-the-box compatibility. Okay, so VS Code 99% developers are actually using this Visual Studio Code. So we'll be learning how to install Visual Studio Code. We'll be talking about how to install Node.js. We are going to start from scratch as if you have bought a brand new laptop and you have nothing, no setup on your machine. That is how we're going to start. Okay. And then we'll be talking about how to set up Playwright from scratch, how to install Node.js, how to install VS Code, setting up your Playwright project. Okay. So, and then this is a pretty cool thing, Playwright architecture. Okay. So some of you are maybe aware of it. Some of you may not be. Okay. So whenever we use WhatsApp, or maybe whenever we use Skype or maybe Microsoft Teams, like in Office, we use a particular technology which is called as WebSockets. WebSocket is something which is kind of a persistent connection. Like some of you are into trading, right? Every single day in the morning, some of you are kind of doing live trading on the stock, right? So again, when the stock price goes up and down, do you keep on refreshing your page every time to see the latest price? No. When you're WhatsApping somebody, do you keep on refreshing the page? Again, no. Then how come it is happening? How come it is coming automatically? Through something called as WebSockets. So as an IT professional, not only we should be upskilling ourselves on Playwright, we should develop this thought process of always upgrading myself. Why IT industry is going through some of the biggest crises at the moment. Okay, so if you really want to stand out from the market, all you have to do is continuously upskill yourself. Okay, and the other day, I was talking to somebody, he was giving an interview. So I just asked him, how did the interview go? He said, Piyush, not so well, actually. I asked him, what happened? So he said, Piyush, you know what the problem is? When the interviewer was asking me some questions, his mind completely went blank. He just said, this is what he did. That's it. But I asked him, did you actually talk about the problems that you've solved in your current company? Did you talk about the problems your current company was facing and how you were coming up with a solution? He said, no, Piyush, I never thought about it. That's the biggest challenge, guys. Yes, we have good intentions. We are good with technical skills also. Sometimes we even have good communication skills, good managerial skills also. But at the time of interview, right? Sometimes when we say, we keep on, on LinkedIn, we keep on saying these recruiters, they kind of ghost us, they don't reply us back. That is also okay. But how we can stand out from the crowd? The only way we can stand out from the crowd is by doing something what the crowd is not willing to do. Okay, and that is something we'll be learning. So some interview negotiation tips. So at the end, I'll be actually adding some bonus tips for you wherein how to crack these interviews in the right way. Okay, because when interviewer is actually kind of asking you questions, you are thinking it like an interview, but you can actually flip it around. Okay, you can actually convert it into a very healthy discussion. This is how I like to take it. Okay, so the interviewer should think that, oh my God, this guy is pretty good actually. It's quite different from the other guys. He's not treating it like an interview. He's not looking scared. He's actually asking me questions. Okay, he's actually being bold and confident. So, guys, very important thing. Nowadays, especially in 2025, being bold, loud, and confident is the key. I was a very shy, very introverted kind of a guy. But why I'm pretty successful now? Because I've changed my personality. Is it easy? The answer is no. Is it overnight? No. It takes a lot of time. So you want to be bold, loud, and confident. If you're not bold, not loud, not confident, people are not going to take you seriously. Sorry. But if you are being shy like me, people will crush you. They'll kill you, man. Okay, so you want to be bold and loud and confident. Very, very important thing. And this is something I'll be continuously sharing with you guys. Okay, so we'll be starting with Playwright architecture. Then we'll be talking about how to create the Playwright script from scratch. It is going to be very exciting. Why? Developing Playwright scripts is something which is a very enjoyable experience. Even after teaching Playwright for so many batches, I've actually given so many corporate trainings also in Playwright. But every time I'm delivering this Playwright training from scratch, whenever me and my students are kind of learning how to create the first Playwright script from scratch, somehow I get very excited. Why? It is a very enjoyable experience. And if you have never done coding before, you're going to love it for sure, guys. Okay, so we'll be talking about what are test structures, modules, GS imports, and everything. Okay, then we'll be talking about Playwright basic methods, assertions, end-to-end flow. I basically, you find out a topic, it has to be there in the course. because this course is basically one end-to-end, you can say, curriculum that I really want to share with you so that you guys should not struggle the way I did actually. And trust me, guys, if you're promising that you guys are ready to study hard, ready to practice each and everything, you'll be very solid in Playwright. Okay, so some of you might take maybe a month or two from now, some of you might take even 3 or 4 months, but doesn't really matter. Okay, as long as you're practicing every single day. Why? We all are different, right? My speed could be different from Srinivas could be different from Akhil, and so on, right? We all are different people. Okay, we all have different speeds. So we'll be talking about assertions, and very, very importantly, throughout this course, we'll keep on comparing with Selenium, how Playwright is different than Selenium in this particular aspect. Okay, so that is how your understanding would solidify, because in interviewer, right, your interviewer might ask you this question, okay, how Selenium is different from Playwright in this particular aspect. So you should be able to tell it. Not just you should be able to communicate your thoughts, you should be able to communicate your thoughts with clarity and purpose. Very, very important thing. Okay, and then this is something which is very interesting. Locating web elements in depth. Very important thing, in depth. We are going to be talking in depth how to basically create the locators the right way. Because a lot of people usually struggle. Sometimes people say, Piyush, I really don't know how to create CSS selector. Should I create CSS? Should I create XPath? Or what should I do? Okay. So trust me, guys, this is not a pretty big problem. Why? Because we are going to be diving in depth how to basically locate the web elements. Okay, and this is something which is record and playback. This is something not which is not really encouraged in Playwright, but since I have to basically teach you each and everything about Playwright, I have included it. But this is not something which is quite recommended. Why? Because as advanced automation developer, I don't want to use record and playback. I want to use my own brain to create the stable locator. Okay, so, and I want to command a pretty healthy package. Okay, and this is one thought process I want to share with you. Okay, you're everyone. Suppose if you are not SDET, if you're not, suppose if you are in India, I'm not sure about you, US and Canada, like some of you are joining from these locations. If I'll talk only about India, your goal should be to make at least 40 LPA and above. Okay, is it possible? The answer is yes. Why? Firstly, I did it myself, the first thing. Secondly, a lot of my students have achieved it. So I know that this is possible. But is it easy? The answer is no. See, I'm not here to sugarcoat things, guys. No, I'm not at all here to sugarcoat things. But if you are ready to work hard, and if you think that, yes, you really want to make it happen, I will make it happen for you guys. Together we can definitely make it happen. Okay, and then we'll be talking about hard assertions and soft assertions in Playwright, of course. So Playwright is a framework. Actually, everything comes with Playwright. Okay, so now we'll be talking about UI mode runner and traces, handling drop downs, alerts, checkboxes. This is pretty simple thing, guys. Okay, we'll be talking about mouse events, uploading files, handling child windows. This is something which is pretty cool thing in Playwright. It is not there in Selenium. Okay, API testing we're going to be doing in depth. A lot of people are not sure how to basically run the APIs the right way, how to run multiple APIs together. Like in Postman, I can run first API. The response of first API, I want to capture and I want to use it as the input for my second API. Okay, and after I'll run my second API, I'll get the response. And using this response, and now I want to run the third API. And this is what we'll be learning in depth together. Okay, we'll be talking about mocking and intercepting APIs. Pretty cool feature. Okay, then visual testing with Playwright. Okay, and then very, very important thing, solving Playwright interview questions, complex UI scenarios. We'll be not just using simple web applications or something. Okay, we'll be taking some very complex applications. Like in Office, if you look at your office projects, the applications that you really use in your office, they are not easy, guys. They are actually complex applications, right? So we'll be using similar complex applications, for example, fast.com. Okay, so this is something I've actually added recently. So what is happening? Okay, let me just show you. If you open fast.com, what happens? It scans your internet speed. So if you see, it keeps on changing. This is something we'll automate together. Okay, so I've actually taken some real websites. Another website is redbus.in. It is not easy. It is a pretty tricky website actually to automate. Those drop downs are not really drop downs. They are not even text boxes. Okay, so those are pretty tricky websites. And that is what I've included in this course. So that if you are able to automate some tricky websites, then simple websites is something you'll say, oh, that is very simple. That is the confidence we'll develop together. We'll be talking about iframes, shadow DOMs, which is not easy to automate. So Selenium is actually struggling big time with shadow DOM. And this is something we'll learn how to do this with Playwright. Network request timing. Then we'll be covering in depth about Playwright framework features. So if you are wondering, are we going to cover page object model? The answer is yes. This is something which is very commonsensical thing now. Whether you are using Selenium, Cypress, Playwright, any automation tool, you have to use the right coding practices, which is page object model. People say it is design pattern. I say it is more of a commonsensical thing. It has to be used. Okay, so we'll be learning driving data from external files, basically creating this entire framework from scratch. It is going to be very, very easy. Even if you've never done coding before, you will love it. Okay. And then finally, very important thing, AI powered Playwright. We'll be talking about a lot of things in AI. Okay, generative AI, how AI is actually dominating market. Because the other, I think 2 or 3 days back, I was looking at one of the job openings, and you see what the job openings were saying: junior AI engineer, senior AI engineer. I was wondering, this AI is actually kind of growing big time since last 1 or 2 years. How come they're expecting a person to be senior AI engineer? So if you see what is really happening in today's times, we have to be very, very well equipped with AI. So people say AI is going to take their jobs. The answer is yes. With those people who are knowing, who are confident how to use AI, these people are unfortunately going to take jobs from those people who are not sure about how to use AI. So guys, times are changing. With changing times, we have to change. You guys want to buckle up, study hard, and make sure that you are not staying behind. And finally, we'll be actually sharing a lot of bonus material with you. Some API testing interview questions, very, very important thing. Manual testing interview questions, senior test manager interview questions, salary negotiation. This is the highlight actually. Here in I will be showing you some real examples how to basically do the salary negotiation tips in the right way. Very important thing. Okay. Because a lot of us don't have this confidence in the guts. I'll be very open and honest. Okay. So let's say there's a job opening of say 30 LPA. To be very honest, more than 50% people in this group will not even apply. Why? We don't even feel that we deserve this kind of money. That is sad actually. Why? It is actually boils down to our confidence. Okay. So this is something we really want to improve, the confidence. Just technical skills alone, guys, again, I'll reiterate, is not enough. You want to develop this confidence that I deserve the package of 30 LPA plus. I deserve the package of 40 LPA plus. And that is something we're going to learn. Okay. And then, so some of you might be wondering, how come this course is what? So basically the total duration should be anywhere between 40 to 50 hours. Again, it is just approximate numbers. It can be more, it can be, I don't think it can be less, it can be definitely more. Okay. So these are some frequently asked questions. Okay. I would recommend, please go through this FAQ. A lot of your questions should be answered. Okay. So with this, these are some, you can say, the course material that I really plan to share with you. Okay. Now we'll start with the demo part. Okay. So here, the first thing, okay, the first thing is something. Let's say you bought a brand new laptop. Okay. Now, my simple question to some of you. Okay. I would like to ask some of you. Suppose if it is a brand new laptop, can I run JavaScript on this brand new laptop? What do you guys think? Quick question. Anyone who would like to answer?
Not possible, right?
No,
Okay. Ravi Teja is saying not possible. Okay. Anyone else?
but we
Pala
can
sir,
use
Samaji?
online
We
browser.
need to install the JS code. I mean,
Okay.
for to run the
Possible in
scripts
the
or language, right?
Okay.
Editor
Okay.
also.
That is all right. That is a good one. Okay. So guys, I would like to share with you. So some of you was mentioning online browser. So that person, I couldn't see the name, but he's absolutely correct. So the first thing is, if I install the Chrome browser, nothing else, no JavaScript, no Node.js, I can still run JavaScript on my machine. Why? Because that is something a lot of people are not sure. So every browser, whether it is Chrome, Firefox, Edge, in any browser, they all have their own execution environment. What do I mean by that? Right click anywhere in the browser, click on inspect, go to console. Okay, let me increase it. Click on the clear button. Now, if I type something here, suppose if I type 1 plus 2, okay, and I hit 3. What is this? Is it Java, JavaScript, Python? Anyone? What is it?
It's a JavaScript.
JavaScript.
It is JavaScript. Exactly, guys. You are absolutely correct. This is JavaScript. So the point what I'm trying to make over here is, right, inside the browser, every browser has its own JavaScript execution environment. Okay. So I don't need Node.js. Okay. Now, what is Node.js? Node.js in very simple terms is counterpart of JRE. Now, what is JRE? JRE stands for Java Runtime Environment. Like 50% of you who have filled this survey, I know because I've seen that survey. almost 50% people are from Selenium background. So you must be aware of JRE, Java Runtime Environment. So in order to run Java on your machine, you need JRE. Okay. Similarly, in order to run JavaScript on my machine outside the browser, I need something called as Node.js. This is what I want. So within the browser, I don't even need Node.js. Why? Because if you see, browser has its own execution environment. I can run any valid JavaScript code here. Okay, so if I do console.log of hello, this is allowed. Why? All the browsers have their own execution environment. Okay, so but outside the browser, okay, then I need to do something which is called as installing an editor. Okay, and that is where Visual Studio Code comes into picture. Now, some of you might wonder, I have Notepad also. I can run my code in Notepad also. Yes, technically you can, but that is not the best of the experience. Why? You want to run Visual Studio Code. Why? Because it is a very powerful editor and it comes with some great debugging techniques and some syntax highlighting, some good features. Okay, that is something that you will not be able to get through Notepad or something. So in order to write professional JavaScript code, okay, you need a powerful editor, which is called as Visual Studio Code. Okay, and I will be sharing a document with you wherein how to install Node.js from scratch, how to install Visual Studio Code from scratch. Okay, so I'll be sharing this document with you all in case if you have if you don't have Node.js, and if you are wondering how do I check if Node.js is already there or not, very simple. On Mac, open the Spotlight and open the terminal. On Windows, simply open the command prompt. Okay, so on Windows, what you need to do? On Mac, what you need to do? Same code, right? Simply write node space -v. Just run this command. If you're able to see something like this, it means Node.js is already installed on your machine. Same command you will be able to run on your Windows machine. Node space -v. V means version. Find out the version of Node. It means my initial setup is already done. So this is the first thing that you want to do. The second thing you want to do is install Visual Studio Code. Installing Visual Studio Code is very, very simple. Just go to Google, simply type Visual Studio Code download. Okay, let me just show you right away. Very, very simple. VS Code download. Okay, close it. Open the first official website, which is download Visual Studio Code for Mac, Windows, and Linux. And this is the official website. Okay, so if you open this website, it is going to open, right? And now it is asking, are you on Windows? Are you on Ubuntu or Debian, or are you on Mac? On Mac, you want to select the Apple Silicon chip. Why? All the latest MacBooks, starting from M1 onwards, don't have this Intel chip. Intel is the older chip. This Apple Silicon is the latest chip. Or if you're not sure, just click on this Mac. It is automatically going to download the best one for you. For Windows, if you want to do the install only for your particular user, you can select the user installer. But if you want to install VS Code on your entire system, you can go with the system installer. Or even not sure, just click on this icon. It is going to download the exe file, double click, install, next, next, next. Very simple installation. Okay, no rocket science. Very, very simple. Okay, now the moment you open VS Code, this is how it looks like. Okay, so it is a very powerful editor. What you need to do is, so the first thing, I'll go to Playwright training folder. So I've created a Playwright training folder. Okay, so now what are we going to do is I'm going to create a new folder, say Playwright October 6. Okay, now I've created a new folder called Playwright October 6. I want to open this folder in the VS Code. How to open? Very simple thing. Go to File, simply go to Open Folder.
Hey Piyush,
Okay.
I can't see your screen now. I still see the download Visual Studio.
Browser.
Okay, okay. Let me unshare and share it again. Okay, now I think you should be able to see, but thank you so much
Yes.
for telling.
Thank you.
Okay, okay. So what you need to do is just go to that particular folder where you want to go. So in the downloads, maybe this Playwright folder, go to this one, Playwright October 6, click on open, and it should open. This is something kind of a hassle. Why? Because you have to go from one folder to the next and so on, right? But as an advanced or as a smart automation developer, always look to find the shortcuts. What is the simplest shortcut? Just go to this, simply drag and drop. This is my favorite thing. See, just drag and drop. It works in Windows, it works in Mac. And I'll be teaching you some lot of cool shortcuts like this. Okay, this is something that separates you from an average automation developer versus an advanced automation developer. Now, by default, the font size is quite low, right? Like I'm on Mac, it is very low. Some of you might be finding it very hard to read. What we need to do, just press Control and plus or Command and plus. Okay, so Command and minus or Control and plus. It is same thing. Okay, so it is going to increase or decrease the font size. So you can set it accordingly. Okay, now you want to install a couple of extensions. This is something which is mandatory, guys. So what is the first extension? If you see, this is the extensions tab. So what are we learning? We are learning how to set the Visual Studio Code. This is just a one-time activity, guys. You don't want to do it again and again. Just open this extensions tab. So the first extension, which is very popular extension, this is Code Runner by Junhan. Okay, so this is the icon or the logo of this particular extension. So this extension is like a third-party software that somebody has built and uploaded it. And rather than me creating the same thing myself, I would rather reuse it by somebody else. Okay, so it's a pretty popular extension. Okay, so almost 36 lakh people have downloaded it. Okay, which is pretty cool one. And why do I install this extension? Because it will help me get this play button. Okay, without this extension, if I want to run JavaScript code right within the VS Code, I have to go to the terminal manually and type node space file name. So how do I run JavaScript? Let me show you. So suppose if it is an empty project, what I need to do, just click on the play button, right? Create an empty file, say 1.js. Okay, now what is .js? Any JavaScript file should end with .js extension. That is something you should know. So how do I confirm it? Just click here and at the bottom you see JavaScript is written over here. It clearly tells me that this file has an extension of .js, which means it is a JavaScript file. Now, let me run some basic JavaScript code. How do I write basic JavaScript code? Suppose if I want to print something to the terminal, in Java, we have system.out.println. Suppose people who don't have Java background, no worries. In JavaScript, if I want to print something to the terminal, just for my understanding, for debugging purpose, what do? Just write console.log. Maybe I can write Piyush. Okay, so now the challenge is, how do I run this JavaScript code? Okay, for that, I need to open the terminal. Now, VS Code is pretty powerful tool. You'll keep on hearing this term from me. VS Code is powerful. Why? VS Code has its own inbuilt terminal. I don't want to go to this external terminal, which is this one. Yes, I can still do it from here, but not required. Why? VS Code has its own inbuilt terminal. Just click on terminal. Click on new terminal. You see, this is an embedded terminal right inside the VS Code. You don't want to go outside, which is here. Okay. Now, inside the terminal, how do you run JavaScript code? Firstly, you need to have Node.js, and that is something I've already shown you, right? How to check node space -v. Now, after checking the Node.js, what do you want to do? You want to run this file. How to run this file now? Simply type node space. What is the name of the file? 1.js. 1.js. Simply hit enter. And you see, this is the output, which is I'm getting from here. Okay, but did you notice that every time I have to open the terminal, every time I have to type node space file name? Yeah, that is kind of a hassle only. So even better option, use this play button. And that is what I was telling you. You should install this particular extension by Code Runner. Without this extension, you will not get this play button. So how this extension is going to help? Just click on the play button and see, you automatically get this output. You don't want to go into the terminal, type this boring command node space file name. Yes, you can do that, but this is even faster, more simpler, more beginner friendly. Very simple. Run code option by Code Runner. So this is the first extension you want to download. The second extension you want to download is Live Server by Ritvik Dey. Okay, don't worry. If I would suggest you can make notes, but even if you're not making notes, don't worry. I'll be sharing all these notes with you in a Google Drive link. So everything would be crystal clear. So this is a pretty handy extension. At this moment, you'll not be able to understand how this is going to help, but just what you can do is just install it. In your case, it will be installed. In my case, I've already installed it. That is what is giving me this uninstall option. Okay, next one, material icon theme. So if you see here, in my case, you will see some pretty cool icons actually like this. Okay, so in your case, if you want to see your beautify your VS Code, so this is completely optional, right? So if you want very basic themes, you don't want to install this material icon theme. But if you want to beautify your VS Code with some nice color icons and all those things, in that case, you can install material icon theme by Philip Guys. So this is something I really love it. Okay, so next thing, open in default browser. This is an extension by PeakGen. Okay, and this is something we'll be using heavily in Playwright, which is a pretty cool extension. Don't worry how this is going to work. We'll be learning about this later on. We'll be talk about Playwright. Next thing, Playwright test for VS Code. This is the official extension by Microsoft, and this extension will help you get this testing lab. Okay, so some of you who are already having VS Code, you don't get this option testing. Why? You have not installed Playwright test for VS Code. Okay, and this is something you want to install it. Okay, pretty handy extension. Okay, and then Python not required. So this is something I was actually teaching my other students. So this is something which is not required for now. Okay, so this is the basic VS Code setup that you all want to do. Okay, now with this extension, what else we can do? Okay, so we have started with Node.js. We have seen VS Code installation. Okay, so we have even seen these extensions. Now let me show you how to install Playwright. Okay, so even if you have never installed Playwright, never worked on Playwright, so this is the last thing what we'll be seeing. And now I'll be opening up for questions afterwards. Okay, so how do I install Playwright? Very simple thing. Let me close the terminal first. Okay, so in order to install Playwright, okay, what we need to do, we need to open the terminal first. One option is I've shown you, just click on this terminal and new terminal. Again, these are kind of 2 clicks. I don't like it. There's another option. Click on this, click on the terminal. How many clicks I did? 1 click, second click. Okay, so I'm telling you why. Because there's an even better option, a pretty cool shortcut. What you can do, simply press Control and backtick key, and you will get this terminal. Now, I would like to ask some of you, pretty interesting question. Where is backtick key on your keyboard? Anyone who can tell me where is the backtick key? Some of you might be hearing it for the first time. Do we have a backtick key? The answer is yes, we do have a backtick key. Anyone who can tell me? Where is backtick key on your computer, on your keyboard, sorry?
Above the
Anyone?
enter.
Not really.
Above the return key on the MacBook.
Uh,
Backtick.
no. Okay, I'm also having a MacBook. In my MacBook, no. Above the return key, no. It is not backtick. Anyone else wants to try it out? Anyone?
It's
No,
a
no, no,
backtick.
not judgment. Yeah, backtick key. Backtick. Where is the backtick key on your keyboard? Surprisingly, more than 50% people are not sure. This is what I've seen in all my classes. Anyone wants to try? No?
Below
There are
the
39.
escape key.
Exactly. So Husna Narjis is correct. Okay, so below the escape key. Okay, so what is backtick? So if you see here, this is the backtick. You see this slanting, what is it? This is single quote, like slanting curve, something like this. This is the backtick key. So you simply press Control and backtick, and you see terminal is hidden. Terminal is again, right? So you see, in just 1 click, I'm able to get this terminal. Now, I want to install Playwright, and this is something I want you all to do. This is going to give you a lot of confidence that how to install Playwright. Okay, so what do? Simply run this command. Assuming that you have Node.js on your machine, run this command, npm init playwright @latest. And some of you who can do it with me, please do it now. Very, very simple thing. npm init playwright @latest. Now, what is npm? We'll talk about in depth in Playwright, but for now, just understand that npm stands for Node Package Manager. It is similar to what we have for Selenium, for Java. In Java, we have something called as Maven, right? Which is a package dependency management tool. So the same thing in JavaScript is npm, Node Package Manager. So using this Node Package Manager, which comes along with Node.js installation, you run this command npm init playwright @latest. Simply hit enter. Now it is going to ask me a couple of questions, right? Where do you want to put your end-to-end Playwright test? So if I simply hit enter, if I don't make anything, Playwright is going to create a folder called tests where I'll store all my Playwright test cases. Okay, simply hit enter. Add a GitHub Actions workflow. This is related to CI/CD. At the moment, we are not talking about CI/CD. This is something we'll talk about in depth in the advanced section. For now, just simply hit enter. Now, if you see, it has automatically created this Playwright TypeScript project, okay, which is pretty cool thing. And yeah, it is also downloading its own browsers. So this is something which is very interesting. So Playwright does not use your existing browsers, which is your Chrome, your existing Firefox, your existing Edge. It downloads its own stable, compatible versions. It may not be the latest versions, but these are the compatible versions what Playwright requires. Okay, and my internet speed is pretty fast, 200 Mbps, so it is not going to take too long. Okay, so it has downloaded something called as Chromium. It has downloaded something called as Firefox, and it is now downloading WebKit. Okay, we'll be talking about Chromium, Firefox, and WebKit. Okay, so Playwright installation is done, guys. If you see, it is less than 2 minutes. I was able to install Playwright, which is pretty cool thing. Okay, now if you see, I have this test folder. Okay, so if you see, by default, it has created a TypeScript project. Okay, and now this course is actually TypeScript, so we'll be working with the same project structure only. This playwright.config.ts. This is the heart of the Playwright framework. Okay, so all the configurations, like in Selenium, we have a properties file wherein you store all the configurations. In Playwright, this is one central file wherein you define all your configurations. Now, this terminal job is done. I want to close it. How do I close? Control backtick. So the terminal is now hidden. Now, these are all the settings we'll be learning in depth in the Playwright. Okay, for now, this is the first setting, very important thing, which simply tells Playwright all the tests are stored where? The test folder. Right? While installing Playwright, it was asking me, right? What is the location of my test? This is the same location, same test folder. So this is my one test file. So all the Playwright files ends with .spec.ts. Now, what is a spec file? Spec file simply means a test case file wherein I'm going to have my test cases, my automation test cases, and it will end with .spec.ts. Okay, I may have some other files like 1.js, 1.ts, any TypeScript file or JavaScript, but they will not end with .spec.ts. Why? Because I want to make sure that anyone who looks into this file can clearly understand, okay, it has .spec.ts, it means all the test cases are containing here. This is a regular JavaScript file. It will not contain the test cases. It will only contain regular JavaScript code, but not the Playwright test case code. Okay, so this is my first test case. Don't worry about the code. We'll be talking about each and every line in depth. This is my first test case. This is my second test case. Okay, now how do I run any of the existing test cases? Okay, so I'm basically talking to the manual testers who are looking at Playwright for the very first time. Okay, now in order to run my Playwright test, what do I do? Again, I need to open the terminal. How do I open the terminal? Control backtick key. Okay, now I don't like everything what I see here. Is there a shortcut? Yes, there's another shortcut. Some of you will type clear and hit enter. I don't like to type all this. I'll simply press Control and L key, which is going to clear my terminal. I'm big into shortcut, guys, and I'll be teaching you these shortcuts. Okay, so now what next thing? I want to run my Playwright test. How do I run my
Yeah.
Playwright test? Very simple. Anyone is saying something?
Yeah, it's the shortcuts which you are showing in the Mac and Windows also
These,
similar to it.
oh, yes, absolutely. These shortcuts will work on Windows as well.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so now what next we can do? I want to run my Playwright test. For that, I'll do npx. Oh, let me just run it. npx space Playwright space test. What is happening here? I'm telling Playwright to run all my Playwright tests that are inside the test folder. So how many test cases we have? We just saw first test case, my second test case. Okay, now I'll simply hit enter. What is going to happen? Looks like something different is happening. I just told you that there are 2 test cases, but somehow Playwright is running 6 tests. How come it is happening? It means the trainer does not know what he's saying. No, it is because in the playwright.config.ts, something interesting is there. Let me show you very quickly. So inside the playwright.config.ts, if I'll just scroll down, you see there is a project section. Don't worry, we'll talk about this in depth. I'm just basically kind of touching these concepts for today. So this is the first Chromium browser. This is a Firefox, a second browser. This is WebKit, a third browser. So by default, all the test cases that I have in example.spec.ts will be running on the Chromium as well as Firefox as well as WebKit. So 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. That is why I'm able to see 6 test cases. But in day-to-day usage, I don't want to run all my test cases on all 3 browsers. Why? That is not something I want to do. So in that case, I'll simply comment out. How do I comment in one click? Control and /, and it works in Windows and Mac. Control /. In Mac, it is command and /. In Windows, Control /. Now, I'll open the terminal, Control backtick. I'll use the up arrow key. I'll hit enter. Now this time you will see different thing. Simply hit enter. Running 2 tests using the 2 workers. So if you see, now my tests are run only on the Chromium browser, not on Firefox, not on WebKit. Okay, so this is how we can run my Playwright test, and this is something you all can do, even if you have never done any kind of coding before. Trust me, guys, if you're able to do at least this one, no, you will get a lot of confidence. Okay, so one last thing, and I'll be done. Okay.
What about the 4 workers in the earlier case? So
Okay, so some of you are asking about these workers. So,
Mm.
okay, I want to basically touch upon these concepts in the advanced topics because this is something which is slightly advanced. So I'll simply, okay, tell you. What are workers? Workers are kind of basic threads. Like in Java, we have a threading concept, right? Multi-threading, same thing in JavaScript. So in order to run 2 test cases, okay, I need 2 workers. Like in your office project, let's say there are 4 people working into your office project. They are all QAs, right? 4 people means 4 separate workers who can do 4 separate tasks. That is the same meaning here. Now in this case, how many tests I have? 2 tests. So Playwright is automatically going to allocate 2 separate workers that are completely isolated, completely separate from each other, and they're going to take one test each. Okay, so now what happens here? Basically, these workers are found out from my operating system cores. Okay, so in my case, you will see, okay, in this case, you see running 6 tests using 4 workers. In your case, you might see maybe 3 workers or even 5 workers. Why? I'm on Mac. My MacBook is M3 machine. Some of you might be having M4 machine. Some of you might be having M1. Some of you might be having Windows machine. Your number of cores might be different from mine. So your number of workers could be different from mine by default, because by default, Playwright looks at your system and finds out how many available CPU cores you have. I hope that answers your question. Is it fine? Okay. Now, in less than 5 minutes, I'm going to show you something which is something I want you all to do. So there's a pretty cool website which is called as Orange HRM. Okay, so now I want to basically help you automate this Orange HRM, which is pretty cool thing. So what we'll do is I'll simply open this auth login. So this is a website some of you might have already seen. Okay, so this Orange HRM website is something wherein you have this username, you have this password. What you want to do is I'll show you how to create for your first test case, even if you have never coded before. Yeah, it is going to be pretty exciting then. What I need to do, just go to example.spec.js. Okay. Now, in this case, what do you want to do? Just copy this entire test. Copy, Control C, Control V. And now simply give a new title because the test case name has to be unique. What is the test case name? My first automation test. Okay, now don't worry about the code. I'll tell you how to do it. So it is very simple. Even a manual tester can understand. What does it mean? Just go to this page. Which page I want to go? I want to go to this page, Orange HRM demo. So copy it and paste it here. Okay, now remove everything. Okay, I'll prove it to you in less than 5 minutes. You all can actually you'll be done with your first automation test case in Playwright, which is going to be pretty exciting. So what you need to do, just use this command, await page dot pause. Simply run this command. Okay, now what you can do is just use only also. Don't worry about this only, but I'll simply tell you what does only means. Out of all these test cases, I want to run only this particular test. That is what it means. Again, it is quite simple. Now, what I want to do is I'll open the terminal, control and backtick. I'll use the up arrow key. If I'll hit enter, because of this only keyword, only this particular test should run. And now it was not going to stop. It is going to pause because I want to tell you something. Simply hit enter. Okay. So, okay, what happens is I forgot to use headed flag because by default, Playwright is going to run all the test cases in the headless mode. What is headless? Playwright is not going to show the browsers, or in other words, in simple words, Playwright is running my test in an invisible browser, which as a layman, as a user, as a QA, I will not be able to see. In order to see the browser live through my eyes, I have to use this flag called headed. Now I'm telling Playwright, hey Playwright, I want to see the browsers, show the browsers to me. Now hit enter. This is something you all should try, and this will give you some good confidence. Now, you see, this Orange HRM website is going to open, and there's another window that is going to open, which is called as Playwright Inspector, which is for debugging purpose. Okay, this is a pretty simple thing. I really suggest everyone to please try it after this. Just click on this button, the second button, you see, the pick locator. Okay, now just click on this username. So you see Playwright has created a locator for you. So as a manual tester, as a user, I know this is a text box which has this, which is username, but Playwright is not human. Playwright is like a robot. Now, how to tell Playwright how to automate this username? This is how Playwright can understand how to find out the text box. So how do I read this? I'm looking for a text box that is the name of username. Pretty simple locator. It is not as simple in Selenium. Just copy this locator, paste it in your VS Code just before the pause, right? Simply write await page. Okay, so what is it? Page dot get by role. Now, in a text box, what do? I use the fill method. So fill method does what? Simply enter something. What is it I want to fill? I'll simply go to this Arc browser, copy the username from here, okay? And then I'll use it inside as a single quote. So what am I saying? In this text box, I want to fill something. This is what I want to fill. I want to fill the string called admin. Same thing. Now, the second thing, I want to automate the password field. Very simple. If you know nothing about locating, you know nothing. Just click on this pick locator one. Now, click on this password text box. Again, a new locator is created by Playwright, and locators of Playwright, 90% are pretty good. Sometimes they are not as good, and that is something we learn in depth later on. For now, I'll copy this locator. I'll go back to the VS Code. I'll simply write await. Don't worry about this keyword await page dot, right? Just copy it like this, page dot get by role. How do I read this? I'm looking for a text box that has a name of password. Anyone can easily understand this part. Simply use the fill method again. In Selenium, we use send keys. In Playwright, we use the fill method. Now, what do? Go to the browser, copy the password, come over here, simply paste it. That's it. After entering the username and password, what I need to do? Just click on the login button. Okay. Again, click on this pick locator, click on the login one, and this Playwright has generated a fantastic locator. How do I read this? I'm looking for a button that has a name of login. This is how you see, right? This is a button that has a name of login. This is the same thing what Playwright has generated. Very simple. Click on this, and this is the last thing. Await page dot get by role of button dot click, and that's it. Now let me run this test case. So how do I run this test case? Again, I'll open the terminal. I'll press Control C to forcefully close my previous test because this inspector job is done. So this Playwright inspector is for debugging purpose. In order to basically, it helps you to create locators also. Now this job is done. I can close it from here, and my test is done. Now Control L to clear. Up arrow key, simply hit enter. Now let's see what happens. This is your first Playwright automation test case. And Playwright is super fast, guys. See, it is so fast, right? It is very hard to see whether it really actually entered the username and password. But trust me, it actually entered the username and the password. And now, after clicking on the login button, you are able to log in. And that's it. This is your first Playwright test. What do you need to do? Click on the play button. That's it. And you should be able to see your first one passed. Okay. So if you're able to do this, you will get a lot of confidence that Playwright is easy. Why? Playwright is actually easy. And this is something I want to install in your heads. Playwright is a damn simple tool. And you will be having a great time learning Playwright. Okay. So with this, I'll stop my screen share. And now I'll open up for questions if you have any questions. Okay. I think some of you are already. Yeah. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Piyush. My name is
Hello.
Soumya. I want to ask you, this recording will be shared because I think in between I got some glitch and I could not understand. Is this
No worries.
recording going to be shared?
Yeah. Correct. This recording, basically, this is a live course with recordings. So all these recordings are going to be shared the next day
Okay, that's fine.
for lifetime.
Another question I got is, how many days course is this?
So this course duration will take approximately 2 months. Minimum, it is going to be 2 months. So it is a weekday batch. So we'll be having 4 to 5 days of classes in this entire week. Okay. And then we'll have a holiday on the weekend because you guys need time for practice also. I will not overburden you with so many concepts that will be hard to digest. Okay. So we'll have some good pacing as well. Okay.
Okay, and after that, again, it will be every day, like till 2 months, it will be there.
Approximately around 2 months. Why? Because we are
So-
going to get this consistency.
Okay, so every day the same time for the
Every
same time, 9
correct.
o'clock.
Every day the same time. So we are the timing is 9 to 10, but I'm a little crazy actually because I'm like this. I usually like to start at least 1 or 2 minutes early. Okay. I'm very punctual about the timing. Sorry, that's my problem actually.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Any questions?
And last thing is, can we also run this Playwright project in Visual Studio,
What
not
do you
the
mean by
Visual
this?
Studio Code,
Okay,
the
okay.
professional?
Okay, because Visual Studio, this is the first time I'm hearing this from somebody. Okay, which is pretty cool option. Okay, so Soumya, Visual Studio Code is actually not Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio is a licensed tool. Okay,
Yeah, I
it is
know
not
that.
free.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah,
Is it
right.
possible?
Correct. It needs license, but it is not really required. Why we anyways have a fantastic tool called Visual Studio Code, which is completely free, doesn't require any license, and it has a fantastic connectivity with JavaScript and TypeScript. 99% developers in the world, when it comes to JavaScript and TypeScript, they don't look at any other automation tool. Sorry, any other IDE. They all go with Visual Studio Code. I doubt your team will ask you to abandon VS Code and look at something else. 99% times it won't happen. I'm not sure
No,
why you're even
sometimes
asking.
some companies don't go for Visual Studio Code. Reason being of security purpose. That's why I'm asking you. Like, it
Okay.
does this will is there any is there any other setting that we have to do for
Yes, yes.
Visual
Yeah,
Studio?
you can do that absolutely because Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code are basically coming from the same vendor, which is Microsoft.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So that is to answer a question. But if you still need some help, feel free to ask me. I can even help you later on as well. Don't worry.
Okay, that's fine. Is there in a WhatsApp chat? You are there also in that group.
Yes, yes. I'm there in all the WhatsApp groups because actually they have created tons of WhatsApp groups. I'm not sure which group you are a part of, but okay, I'll share my number with you guys if you want to note it down. It is double
Yeah,
seven
sure.
38532684. Okay, let me write it in the chat so that it is easier for people. 7738532684. And I'm available, guys. If you still have questions, even after this demo gets over, right? Tomorrow we have a second demo class on the same link. I would recommend please do join as well. Okay, so this is my number that I've just showed. Okay, so Mohammed Qasim was
Okay.
saying, can you slow down speed when you explain the code? Okay, Qasim, I will slow down my speed drastically. Okay, so Vijay is asking me some questions. No extension for NPM. No, NPM is already installed automatically whenever you install VS Code. Okay, so one more person is asking this question, Ravindra T. I heard that Playwright is more of web automation. How useful would it be for API and UI automation? Okay, that is a very interesting question, Ravindra. So to answer your question, so yes, Playwright is an GUI or you can say front-end automation testing tool, but Playwright is also equally powerful when it comes to automating APIs. And that is something that we'll be seeing in this particular course. We'll be learning together how to run multiple APIs, not just APIs, but how to run them powerfully. Okay. And yeah, so Nidhi is saying below the escape key. Okay, she was talking about the backticks. Very well. So Dhyaneshwar is saying above the tab key. Perfect. Dhyaneshwar, you are absolutely correct. So, Soumya is saying, is it just me? There was a lot of disturbance in between. There was some disturbance. Probably some of you were kind of unmuted by accidentally. So I'll keep a note of it. So I'll try to mute everyone so that there should not be any disturbance from my side. It is not there. I'm using Mac with this voice isolation feature. So you'll not be able to hear any disturbance from my side. So, okay. JavaScript on client and server, it's everywhere. Yes, Vijay. Okay. Oh, so Vijay is saying, please teach me trading as well. I don't know anything about it. Sorry, Vijay. I'm an IT expert. I'm a very good at Playwright JavaScript, but trading is something I can teach you about stock market tips and all, right? Because I know that you need to know very good about your managing of finances. That is something I'm very good with. I can teach you budgeting. I can teach you how to plan your finances wisely. I'm a multi-talented guy, actually. So this is something you all should do. I teach everybody. Like I was giving the training to freshers batch the other day. So it was actually a corporate training for Capgemini that I was delivering last month in Pune. Okay, so I told them when you're getting your first salary, suppose if they're paying you let's say 10,000 rupees, right? Imagine that they're not paying you 10,000. Imagine that they are paying you just 8,000 bucks. So $2,000, imagine that you don't even have this, and blindly invest in the mutual funds. If you don't know anything about the stock market, blindly invest in mutual funds. And this is something, and forget for next 20 years. Have some goals, right? And by the time 20 years later, you will have a good portfolio, because in today's time, please don't take EMIs. Don't buy a house on EMI, especially if you're into IT market in India. Market is not going so well. So please don't buy any silly thing on EMI. Don't do it, please. Okay. Next thing, Vijay is asking, Playwright with Python or JavaScript is most downloaded? Playwright with JavaScript. Why? Java and Python is good languages, pretty powerful languages, but Playwright does not have good compatibility with Java and Python. Why? Because any new feature that is released with by Playwright, it is automatically there for JavaScript and TypeScript. So Python and Java usually catches up after 2 or 3 months. Okay, so most companies require JavaScript and TypeScript, not Python or Java. So Selenium is good with Java. Okay, but when it comes to Playwright, it is good with JavaScript. Okay, next question.
Hi,
So Deepti
Piyush.
saying, okay, yes, Husna, please go ahead.
I just wanted to ask, do you have any course with Playwright with Cucumber? Like
I,
combination
I,
of this? Cucumber
your
and
voice is
Playwright? No.
okay, so you're talking about Cucumber and Playwright. Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
Cucumber and yeah. Okay, so you're talking about BDD approach, I believe, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so Husna, yes. So Playwright is compatible with BDD, but a lot of companies, what I have seen is, right? So they are not using BDD properly. They are just when they are simply saying we are using BDD, they are simply meaning they are using given when then keywords. But that is not BDD. BDD is not just given when then. BDD is more about collaboration with the team. Okay, basically making everyone at the same point. That is the true essence of BDD. True collaboration. Everybody should be on the same page. But most companies, when it comes to BDD automation, they don't care about collaboration. All they care about is using given when then. That is not BDD. So depends
Yeah,
how
but
you
my
are.
team, my team
Hmm.
is using that, so we are going to implement automation in that framework. So I just wanted to
Okay.
ask if I would get a basics of it, then at least a basic,
Okay.
like given then
Okay.
on how it integrates, with Playwright
All
and
right. If you okay, if you still want it, we can definitely take it up, because that is what. See, this course is for you guys. This course is not for me. Course is for you. I am ready to give you any kind of value what you guys expected. And yeah, one thing before we wrap up, very, very important thing is, guys, always believe in the maximum gain. Some of you, not some of you. Unfortunately, I talk to a lot of IT professionals and they believe in minimum mentality. If company is paying you, say, 50,000 rupees of salary, you will produce output worth 49,000 or even 45,000. You won't even do 50,000. That is the minimum mentality. But if you truly want to grow in your career, you want to basically adopt the maximum mentality, going the extra mile. That is how you can separate yourself with an average tester. Average tester will not go the extra mile. Average tester will not come and sit in the meeting at 10 o'clock in the evening. Okay. So you guys are actually separating out. Any more questions?
Hi,
So
Piyush.
Shinvas, yeah. Yes.
This is Soundria here.
Yes.
When we will receive this session, sir,
Record.
when we will recording, yeah, because I'm
Okay.
from New Zealand, so it is 7.5 hours above ahead. So it's for me, it's
Oh,
Tuesday. Yeah, for you, it's Monday. It's like 4:30
okay.
a.m. to 5:30 a.m.
Hats off to
So
you. If you're joining at this particular time, you should be damn zombie in this case. You are
so,
dead serious
sir.
about learning playwright. That is what I can say.
No, sir, I
Okay.
was already having only 12 years of experience in manual testing, and I
Okay.
recently came as a student in New Zealand. Currently,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
searching for a job. I'm in post-study work visa for 3 years. So,
Oh, okay.
manual testing, they are there, but still, I'm not getting any calls or something. So, I'm just want
Okay.
to learn playwright,
You okay. Yeah, you should learn playwright, but
JavaScript.
Sondera, I recommend. Yeah, so please do connect with me separately. Also, I will help you some tips on how to clear these interviews. Because see,
Sure, sure.
just blind applying on LinkedIn, blindly applying on Naukri.com or this
See,
Founded.com is not enough. Yeah,
okay.
there are some good strategies you want to learn. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not sure. I will teach you those things as well. It will help you for sure. Please do connect with me separately. I've shared my number
Uh,
with you.
sure, Pish. Yeah, fine.
Absolutely. Okay. So
So the
Srinivas,
recordings will be we will be giving, is it possible by earlier by end of the day? I mean, like today
Okay, for
or
you,
tomorrow morning.
okay,
Yeah.
in your case, what I can do is actually see it is India time, it is 10:15 p.m. actually. So basically people would not be available at the moment. So what I would do is
Mm.
I will get this access to the recording and I can share it with you.
Okay, okay, Pish. Yeah.
All,
Thank
all you
you.
have to do is just drop me a WhatsApp because there are so
Yeah.
many people in so many different groups. I don't know which you are a part of which group actually. I don't even have your number as well. That's why.
Okay. Yeah, I will. I'll message you after this
Yes, yes. Yeah, please
meetup.
do it.
Thank you.
No worries. Any questions, guys?
Yeah,
So I
one
really hope that,
related to
yeah.
the JavaScript
Okay.
and TypeScript syntax remains same.
They are quite similar actually. I think it is Naresh who's asking this question. So
Yeah, yes, yes.
JavaScript, yeah. So Naresh, JavaScript and TypeScript syntax is pretty much similar. But in order to truly understand TypeScript, you want to have the foundation concepts clear first. Okay, which is JavaScript. Like if you, in order to truly become an automation tester, you want to start as a manual tester first, right? You cannot directly start as an automation tester. Later on, you're learning manual testing. No, that is not how it is done. Same for JavaScript and TypeScript. Learn JavaScript first. That is what we are designing this course. After covering JavaScript, we'll be talking about TypeScript the right way, wherein you'll get very good confidence about both JavaScript and TypeScript.
Fine. So extension to this. So I have installed Playwright using JavaScript. Like there are some
Okay,
options, right? By default, it's a
correct,
JavaScript, but we change to
correct,
JavaScript.
right.
So I can able to continue with the JavaScript, right?
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. You can continue with JavaScript. So basically, it doesn't matter really whether you use JavaScript or TypeScript. With TypeScript, it is going to give you some additional advantages. That is something we'll see. Okay, tomorrow in the
Okay.
second demo. Yeah, so tomorrow is a demo class 2. I don't know why they keep on so many demos. I think one demo is enough actually to find out whether this train is good or not. Okay, but still tomorrow is the second demo class. Right, so tomorrow we'll be talking about how to work with TypeScript as well, and we'll be taking up from there.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, yes. And if
Hey,
you still have
Piyush, I
doubts, feel
have a question.
yes, please. That's
Yeah.
Madhumita, right?
Yeah, Madhumita. Yeah. So, Piyush,
Madhumita.
I saw that you opened up the Playwright Inspector.
Right.
But did you press any key to open up that inspector, or it's
No,
just
no. Okay. In order to open Playwright Inspector, what we need to do is, okay, I'll quickly share my screen. It is going to be very simple actually. So, okay, let me share my screen again. Yeah. I hope you're able to see, Madhumita.
Yes, I can see it.
Perfect. In order to see Playwright Inspector, you need to write this line because this is the line that is responsible for opening Playwright Inspector. Page.pause. Without page.pause, Playwright Inspector will not open. That's the first thing. I hope it is clear.
Okay,
Second thing.
yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, second thing, you need to have this line, this flag, dash dash headed. Without this headed flag, Playwright will still not open the Playwright Inspector even if you have this code. So this is the first step. This is the second step. And now try it out and please let me know. I would like to hear from you afterwards if you're able to do
Thank
it.
you so much. Yes, absolutely. Thanks for clearing my doubt.
No worries. And I'm getting this confidence from you, from your voice that you are basically liking and able to follow it. Pretty good.
Yes,
Very
yes,
nice.
absolutely. Yes. Actually going to join your class. Yeah, we'll talk
I
more.
know that all my students love my courses. Why they don't see this kind of trainer boring actually. They like my style. And this is something we like to do it with fun. I'll not keep it boring, guys. Sorry. If you want boring class, I'm not the trainer for you. Any more questions?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Sorry.
Omkar.
Yeah. So what will be the yes. What
Yes,
will
Omkar.
be the part of AI in this course?
Okay, so in the case of AI, okay, so we'll be actually covering couple of things. So, okay, let me just open it. So in AI, firstly, we'll be talking about what is generative AI. Okay, so
Okay.
after this, after generative AI, because this is the bare minimum fundamental. Whether you learn Playwright or not is secondary thing. You should know about AI. What is AI? Okay, so in AI, what are we talking about? We'll be setting up how to set up Copilot on our machine. We'll be talking about how to generate the Copilot code completion. Okay, then we have something called as Copilot ask mode and context window. You may or may not be able to understand these terms. We'll be talking about agent because nowadays, if you open LinkedIn or any website, everybody is talking about I created this agent, I created that agent, and some of us are wondering what is this AI agent all about. Okay, we'll be talking
Yes.
about
Yes.
agent. Yeah, so don't worry, we'll be starting from scratch. Even if you know nothing about AI, nothing about AI agents, we'll be talking about these things. Then we'll be talking about what is MCP server. This is something some of you might have heard. Okay, multi-context protocol. This is something
Yes.
which is very trendy these days. We'll be talking about these things. So everything that is related to AI, we'll be talking about it. So this course is what I say, a complete end-to-end thing for Playwright, JavaScript, TypeScript, and AI. Trust me, guys, by the end of this course, you will love it. Any
So
more
are we
questions?
going to learn about how to create agents or
Okay,
the
so
theory part?
no, not just theory part. If whatever I'm teaching in theory, I will make sure that we are doing practical because theory is useless. Just learning theory around. Why? You will forget things. The best way to learn is by doing it. Okay. I will not teach you anything that we are not doing practical. Everything what we are learning, everything will be doing practical so that you guys will get confidence that this is something I can also do. When I say I means you.
Okay.
Yeah, Piyush, one question. Yeah, regarding the
Yeah.
frameworks.
Srinivas, right?
Yeah,
Yes, Srinivas. Please go ahead.
yeah. Regarding the frameworks, are we going to cover any framework as a part of this course?
Oh, yes, yes,
Because
absolutely. Yeah, we'll
in
be actually working with hybrid framework actually. So everything will be covering from scratch, all the framework features, okay, data-driven testing, retry mechanism, screenshots, videos, everything that is required from the framework point of view, we will be covering everything. As if you know nothing about Playwright, as if you know nothing about automation. So that even as a brand new person into coding, you should be able to do it by yourself. That is my goal. That is my objective.
yeah, the lines of code is fine, but what about the you're saying it's going to be hybrid framework, right?
Correct. Hybrid framework. Yes, hybrid framework with page object model design pattern.
Okay, page object mode. But
Correct.
in Selenium, I'm from Selenium background, so I
Mhm.
worked for a couple of years on Selenium. So in Selenium,
Okay.
BDD is more popular. POM is that was like 4 or 5 years back. Now, but
Okay.
BDD is more liked by the clients or by the
It
developers also.
actually okay. So Srinivas, your concern is right, but the thing is, it totally depends. Like some companies opt for BDD, some companies don't opt for BDD. Okay, like somebody was also asking about BDD. If required, we can cover it as well if you guys want it. Why this course is for you actually. Now, coming to the page object model part, page object model is something that has to be there, whether you're using BDD, whether you are not using BDD. Why? This is a good programming practice. So whether something is good programming practice, you have to use it. With BDD or without BDD, doesn't make a difference. We'll be learning about the good programming practices throughout this course. I'll be teaching you how to write the code in a bad way and how to write the code in a good way so that you don't end up writing the code in the wrong way in Playwright.
So we are going to
And it
cover
is,
one framework, right? Hybrid framework.
yes, yes, absolutely. Everything.
Okay.
Yeah,
Any more
We have
questions?
reports also integrated in Playwright, or we use any other third-party tool or something.
Okay, so okay, like if it compare it with Selenium, like Selenium has no reporting mechanism whatsoever. So
Yeah.
previously people used to integrate it with extent reports, but now they're kind of deprecated, like you must be aware, right?
Yeah.
But now we have something called as LU report, which is a pretty trending reports these days. Okay, so this is not for basic report. This is for training, for graphs and all. So Playwright also has integration with LU report, and that is something I plan to cover. So Playwright by default comes with its own basic HTML, which is pretty good one. But if you still want to integrate it with Allure, that is something we can also learn. Absolutely. And that is a part of this course.
So are we covering Git and Jenkins also?
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. Without CI/CD pipelines, any automation tool is, I don't think
Yeah.
it is worth it. Without CI/CD, no, no. We can't even think of creating a course without CI/CD and Jenkins. No, it has to be there.
And Piyush, if possible, can you give this breakdown of how many weeks for which section? You have explained the sections very well. The content is very good. But how
Right,
many
right,
weeks
right.
for, so that we'll know the focus on how many weeks we're going to spend on JavaScript and
Basically,
how weeks
okay,
and
so
Java Advanced.
okay, I'll tell you right away. So, okay, so Srinivas is asking this question again. So Srinivas, in this case, what happens is, so we'll be starting with JavaScript, and since we are going to be including logic building as well, so it will take approximately 1 month and few days. I don't know how many, depends. Okay, so the bare minimum we're going to be taking 1 month and 10 days at least for JavaScript. This is what I'm thinking. Could be little less, could be little more. I think could be more only. Okay,
I mean,
then
only for JavaScript, you're going to take one month?
at least for JavaScript, exactly. Then we'll be starting with TypeScript, and then we'll be starting with Playwright. So see, that is what I'm thinking, because trust me, I'm actually a naturally fast talker. Some of you will have to tell me, Piyush, slow down. Why? It is my natural tone that I usually speak little fast. So like 1.25x actually. So I'll try to curb my naturalness so that I actually speak at 1x, not 1.25. So usually in this speed, I usually take at least 2 months. Why? Because I don't want to dilute the course. I don't want to dilute the quality. For me, quality is the most important thing. And that is what I want to teach everyone, right? Focus on giving maximum value to your company these days, especially when times are tough. So that if something happens, you should still stand out as the outstanding performer. Company should think twice before even kicking you out.
Okay, one last question. Coming to the Playwright part, the framework and the reports part, how many weeks we're going to spend? 3 weeks, probably.
So in the case of, in the case of Playwright, not just 3 weeks, Playwright takes minimum 1 month, at least a month. In the
Okay,
case of
then
Playwright, why? There are
framework.
there are tons and tons of topics actually. Everything. I mean, Playwright and framework.
Okay.
Because we'll be talking about all the Playwright topics, including the framework. When I'm saying Playwright, Playwright means Playwright, basic, advanced, and including the framework. Everything.
The framework, we will design it, or you are going to just teach the structure of the framework and we'll just use the framework and write the code? How it is?
Okay, we will be using the framework, we'll be writing the code, plus we'll be also seeing how to design the framework from scratch, everything. As if basically we are starting a brand new project, and if we are basically, we want to start this framework from scratch, how to do all these things, everything.
Okay, but content is good, but I doubt we'll cover this in 5 days a week. We'll be able to cover this in 2 months.
Okay, that
If
is
you've
what I'm
done this
saying.
before,
Yeah,
if you have done
that
this
is what.
before previous batches, well and good. But
Okay. See, in the previous batches, right? We have basically, see, I've actually done so many Playwright batches, and after every Playwright batch, what I usually do is I sit down with myself, I write down the points, what are the things I have done the better in that batch, and what are the things I can even do better. I'll be very open and honest. I like to do this self introspection, which is very important. 90% people don't do it. That is why they don't grow actually. So this is important. So after conducting so many Playwright batches, I've realized that it is not about timing. It is all about covering the courses in the pace that people should be able to follow. That is most important thing. And this is something my focus is. My focus is to basically clear everything about JavaScript and TypeScript and Playwright with framework. Does it really matter even if it takes 3 months in the worst case? I doubt nobody will actually say no. Why? Because in the case of course quality, that is not I'm willing to compromise on. No. Time is something I'm ready to compromise, but quality is something I'm not ready to compromise.
okay, please. Thank you.
No worries. Any more questions, guys?
Hi,
I still
Piyush.
see. Yes, Bhanu.
Yeah, actually, like I'm looking for the project also so that I can keep that in my resume because I've been having a career gap. So
Oh,
step back
okay.
into IT to weigh my resume, it would be great
Okay.
if you provide
So,
me some project. I can work from my side and use it
okay.
to keep
I
it
can
in my
certainly do that. Absolutely, I can do that. So, Bhanu, is it you who just dropped me a WhatsApp? I just got a
Yeah,
WhatsApp.
exactly. I stay in US,
Okay.
like so. I also
Okay.
want the recordings ahead
Okay.
so that
You'll
I
get
can.
all these recordings. Yeah. And regarding the project, you can directly get in touch with me. We can work out for this.
Yeah, thank you so much because I have a lot of career gap and I'm just
And,
thinking to get back into IT. So
and don't worry, like I was telling the other person who was staying in New Zealand, I forgot the name. I'm still trying to remember all of your names, right? It will
okay.
take me some.
Soundarya.
Yeah. Soundarya. Okay. So in like I was mentioning that New Zealand girl, I was tell you the same thing. So please do connect with me. So regarding the interview tips and all, I will be able to help you in this
Okay.
because
Yeah.
just blindly applying is not good enough, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
There are some good techniques you should know. Unfortunately, a lot of people are not sure. I'll help you on this. Don't worry.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No worries. Any more questions, guys?
Yes,
So do we
this
have a
running.
building session? Okay, Abhishek is asking resume building session. Okay, so we are not going to have a resume building session. I'm saying if somebody wants a specific advice or any career advice, I'm open to do it without any extra charges, guys. No worries. Okay. So if you want anything like Abhishek is asking me this question, do we have resume building? If you want, I can help you with it. So one more person is asking, okay, Dhyaneshwar, is DS okay? So he's silently asking me questions. So is DSA really needed to crack good product companies, automation testers, seeing too much hype around DSA and AI these days in QA job openings? Unfortunately, if you're looking for big companies like Mang or Fang something, yes, you need DSA. I'm being very open and honest. No sugarcoating here. You need good with DSA. And DSA cracking is not something you can do overnight. It takes preparation. It requires proper planning and execution. Just like how you want to crack IIT, it is not just cracking IIT. You want to do a lot of planning. Okay. So this is something you have to do if you want to crack these big companies. Okay. So
What is
Srinivas,
DSA?
sorry, come again, Srinivas.
What is DSA?
Sorry, come again,
DSA.
please.
What
Data
is
structure.
DSA?
Data
Data
structure and
structure.
algorithm. That is what he's
Oh,
asking. Yes,
okay.
like some companies are, in the case of conducting interviews, they actually check your DSA skills. They don't check how good you're with QA, how good you're with critical thinking. Ideally, they should, but somehow you know, they're just stuck on asking DSA questions. That is what it is.
Okay.
So do you hear
Yes.
me? It's Ravinder.
Yes, I can hear you, Ravindra. I can
Yeah,
see your nice
I have
smile.
a question
Right?
with respect to the browsers, right? So you were showing it installs its own browsers like Chromium, WebKit, and Firefox, I think.
Correct.
So when we come to certify the application in so and so versions of browsers, for example, so how can we make it custom over here?
I didn't get your question exactly. So somehow your voice is also kind of breaking. If you can be a little closer to your mic, it
Yeah,
might help.
is this fine now?
Yes, better.
Yeah, Piyush. So I was seeing that it installed its own browsers of certain versions. You said, no, it's compatible
Correct.
with
Yes,
Chromium.
compatible. Yeah, correct.
But when we want to certify our applications, we may have to say, for example, execute on so and so version of say Edge browser. So how can we make it?
Okay. Are you talking about downgrading your browser or maybe
Yeah,
putting?
maybe downgrading or upgrading. It's a different version.
Okay, that is also possible. Like some of you may not be aware that we can even run our Playwright test cases on existing Chrome browser also, and that is something we'll be seeing. Okay, so yes, to answer
Fine.
the question, yeah, is this possible? The answer is yes. We'll be covering all of it. So Dhyaneshwar is saying, got it. Okay. So any more questions?
Yeah,
Piyush,
which is
what
the
is
best practice,
NPX?
like inspecting the elements, like locators from the inspector, or inspecting from the help, like which are shown now?
Okay. As of now, this is just a very raw thing that I was just showing you. So this is mostly for beginners. As an advanced automation testers, we don't use Playwright Inspector at all. Why? Because we want to learn how to create the locators ourselves. And that is what we'll be diving a lot deeper into Playwright. This is only for basically beginners who will get some slight confidence that, oh, automation is simple. I can also do it. That is the whole thing that I want to prove. I hope
Okay.
now you get it why I showed it. But this is not something we'll really use in real time. This is just for giving good hope to people that this is possible. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Because majorly people who are joining this course, they are actually, I was actually looking at the poll results. Majority of people don't have any coding background. That is how I was trying to make it very, very simple for people. So Ravindra is saying, I want to get all the locators of the whole page or pages at once. Don't worry, we'll learn together, Ravindra. Don't worry. And in case some of you are getting late, please, you can drop off. Now, only those people should stay if you have any questions.
Hi, do you cover end-to-end
Yeah,
test?
Piyush, I have a doubt. NPM versus NPX. What's the difference?
Ravi, yeah,
Yeah.
just a sec. Qasim was asking me a question. I'll come to you. Just give me a few minutes. I'll come to you, Ravi Teja. Okay?
Okay.
Yes,
Do you
Qasim. Yeah,
do you
go ahead,
cover
please.
end-to-end testing?
Yes, absolutely. We will be covering end-to-end testing. Everything will be covering from scratch.
Okay.
Yes, and I saw your message. Yes, I was little fast, but I'll try to keep it slightly slow. Okay, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
because your speed is fast. I couldn't follow you when you was on
Yeah,
Visual Studio.
yeah, don't worry. I'll try to keep my voice at 1x, not 1.25. I'll
Okay,
do it.
okay, sure.
Yeah, but thank you so much. I'm always open to take feedback because nobody is perfect here. So thank you so much. Yeah, Ravi Teja, please ask me a question now.
Yeah, so I was expecting more of a BDD framework in depth. If possible, we can cover that aspect.
Okay, so what we can do is, so I can restructure this course in such a way that we can include BDD as well. Like some of you were asking about BDD. If you want, we can do it. Yes, we can do it. Because it is up to you. Ultimately, at the end of the course, you should feel that you got the maximum value. That is what I want to hear from you.
Yeah, so thank you very much. And NPX versus NPM, how do we differentiate? It's just
Okay,
installation.
Okay, see, NPX and NPM are completely different. So NPM is what? NPM is Node Package Manager. So in order to install any third-party library like Cypress, Playwright, any third-party library, you want to use NPM. NPX is something when you want to run something locally within your project. Like if you want to run your Playwright test locally, there you don't need NPM. Now you need NPX. Don't worry, we'll talk about this in depth actually. For now, this much is good enough that in order to run something locally, you need NPX. But for installing any third-party library, there you need NPM, Node Package Manager.
Okay. I just have one general question. So when you
Yes, Aviteja?
when you train, right, every day we will be having sessions. So do we need to
Yes.
practice along with your keywords, what you are speaking
Oh,
in
yes,
another lab?
absolutely.
Or do we need to do the lab in the next day?
That is totally your call actually. So let's say, so if you are able to match my speed, you can. But if you want to focus on the concepts first and later on you want to do it, you can do that. See, there's no right or wrong approach. Right? So it totally depends upon you. If you feel you can understand the concept as well as practice at the same time, for sure, go ahead. Nobody's stopping you. So there's no right or wrong because there's no one size fit all. Every person is different.
I think anyways recordings will be provided, no? So
Correct. Recordings will be provided. Correct. And these recordings are for lifetime.
Yeah.
Till YouTube is there. This is the meaning of lifetime. Any more
Piyush,
question, guys?
I have one question. Like it was asked in the recently one of the interviews. So how do
Yes,
you
ma'am.
make sure that libraries when you are downloading those are up to date and or what are the issues we will be facing? Because you may be playing with those, right? Downloading those libraries. So
Okay.
what are the challenges do you face with those libraries?
Okay. So what is the challenge? The first challenge when it comes to installing libraries is the first challenge. See, if you're installing any particular library, by default, npm downloads the latest version of that library. That's the first thing you should know. Okay. So in my case, how did I install Playwright? I ran this command npm init playwright @latest. So by default, it installed the latest library. Now, what if this latest library may not be thoroughly tested? Right? It may give some errors. Right? That is a challenge. In that case, how do I find out? Only after installing this library, only after running my code, then only I can figure out what are the issues with this current library. If that is the case, I can downgrade to a particular version, maybe a stable version. So that is why it is recommended not to every time keep on upgrading the versions just like that. Try to upgrade only to the stable versions. Like in the case of Jenkins, I don't know whether you are aware, but Jenkins come up with a weekly release. Every single week they are coming up with a release. Now, they are coming up with the new version, the new release with new features. But do we really need those features? The answer is no. Why? We need Jenkins actually. We don't want to play around with every latest feature. We are looking for stable Jenkins. We are not looking for the latest Jenkins. So that is why it is always recommended to install libraries that are LTS versions, long-term support. okay, which are stable versions. Like in the case of JDK also, right? It is always advisable to install the latest stable version, not the latest version. Stable version is important here. Are you getting now?
Yeah, yes, Piyush. Yeah, like the example which you said, like Jenkins, like that, when we will be using like the code runner and the other we have downloaded, right, which will help to that Playwright script running or some things. So those
Correct.
kind of libraries when you are downloading. So is that when we are making that page object model also, like in the framework you will be creating and then
Correct.
keep those packages right over there.
Correct. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So
Mm-hmm.
this is something we'll talk about this throughout the
Yeah.
course. The
Mm-hmm.
best practice.
Okay.
Oh, yes. So by the end of this course, you should have a very good knowledge, not just with Playwright JavaScript, but these good practices also. When to do
Correct.
what.
Yeah. The main reason was is like daily you will be playing with those, and then if you say like end of the day, what is your status? You are downloading and setting up the environment. That itself taking time means it's not good sense, right? So that's why when you are
Exactly.
making automation, so you need to be thorough with this. How to get those environment daily means without changing or anything the packages and all that. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, see, my core thought process is not just to help you clear the interviews. Yes, that is something that should be automatic. If the concepts are clear, if you are basically practicing everything, then clearing interviews is something you will not be even focused on. This is something that should be automatic if the concepts are clear. But if your focus is only to clear interviews, not just clearing the concepts, then even after clearing the interviews, it can be a very hard journey. I hope you are able to understand. So this is very important.
Yeah. Thank you.
No worries. Anyone else? Some of you are consistently pinging me on WhatsApp. Sorry, guys, I'll not be able to reply for now because I'm currently in meeting, right, asking these people's questions. So once I'm done with the meeting, I'll be responding to your WhatsApp queries. Some of you are still pinging me. I only have 2 hands. So any more questions, guys? No questions? So guys, I think you should take a break now. So tomorrow we'll meet again. You have more questions, feel free to ask me tomorrow, or you can drop me a WhatsApp on the group, whatever you feel is fine. Okay. But this journey is going to be a fantastic journey for sure. That is my confidence. Okay. So I think we can wind up the meeting now, right? So tomorrow I'll see you at I'll start the meeting at 8:55 something. So if you want, you can join in early. Maybe I would like to talk to some more new people. I would like to hear from you. What is your experience? What all are you looking out for? Right? And then we can get started. Okay. So with this, we'll end the today's class and I'll see you tomorrow, guys. So thank you so much for joining. It was great having you here and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.